Yep, this perp, and I got around to finally watching this movie starring Florence Pugh and Morgan Freeman called A Good Person. This follows Florence Pugh's character, Allie, where she has this tragic thing happen in her life, which leads her to go down a dark path of addiction and whatnot. This is set in New Jersey. Morgan Freeman's character also plays an interesting part in this whole entire movie with Florence Pugh. But before those two cross paths, let me just kind of give you a backstory on Allie's character where, the movie starts off, she has all her friends and family around, and she has this fiance named Nathan. And one day she's in the car with Nathan's sister and her, I think, husband or fiance. And of course, she gets distracted on the road, which leads them to get into a full-on accident, which leads Nathan's sister to be deceased. And this causes a complete rift between her and Nathan and makes her go down this path of being an addict and being addicted to perk 30s and whatnot. Very much what happens in Jersey. That's one of the main drugs that kind of go to is them perk 30s, and that heads into something else. But I have some issues with that, but I'll get into that very shortly. So you have Allie just kind of dealing with a lot of this guilt and regrets, and this is what makes her turn to drugs, and she starts to be distant from everybody. Anytime if you have ever been around an addict or whatnot, they'll do anything that they can to, chase that next high. If that means stealing from their parents or just, manipulating their parents or people that they love. And they do depict that in this pretty well. It's not until, Allie decides to go to one of these meetings where she crosses paths with Morgan Freeman's character, Daniel. And Daniel also has a past of addiction. He's been clean for like 10 years, but everything with this stuff going on with her daughter being deceased, he really low-key blames Allie for this. But once they kind of cross paths, he sees that she's really going through it and wants to try to help her. And that I like their bonds in this and how they just form this relationship. And he tells a lot of interesting backstory on Nathan and how he lost his hearing in his right ear. I think it was his right ear, yeah. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much about two individuals. One is kind of already past the addict stage, but he kind of is drawn to it. So every time he's gets the urge, he has to go to these meetings. But also he tries to help Allie so she doesn't go down that same path and just throw her life away. It's just all about reconnections at the end of the day as well, and trying to deal with this grief and deal with addiction. There's also heavy themes of family, because there's a character that goes by the name of Ryan. That's Daniel's granddaughter, and he's stressed out. He has to deal with this and make sure she doesn't sit there and make a mistake, because she's 16 now and she's going around with older dudes, which is really weird. So he's trying to avoid her going down a shaky path. But Ryan also is an interesting character, because she also tries to mend things between Allie and Nathan, but ends up kind of blowing up in their face a little bit and makes things a little bit worse for Allie, because like I said, anything somewhat could trigger a addict and whatnot. But my issue with this movie is, I would say it's pretty tame. Not saying that Florence Pugh didn't do a good job, because she definitely acted her ass off. I just think for somebody like me that has known friends that have been addicts and stuff, I think they were kind of toned down in that regards. I think they could have went a little bit harder. I'm guessing that wasn't the point. The point was to just kind of have this character of Allie to get uplifted and kind of make these decisions and make the decision to get clean or not get clean by herself and whatnot. That's just a little nitpick of mine. You know, this is kind of your run-of-the-mill type of movie. It's not doing anything groundbreaking, or, you know, I don't see this being mentioned at no Oscars next year or something like that. It's your average type of movie. You'll definitely get some emotion out of this movie. Like, you'll definitely get emotional if you've definitely had friends or if you've gone through this yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a tough watch for you, even though I think that it was pretty tamed in that theme. And yeah, that's just like my only negative. Everything else was pretty cool. It's really well shot. You know what I'm saying? I like Florence Pugh, how they show you her in the beginning. And I also like that throughout this movie, I think that she wrote her own songs. And damn, I didn't know Florence Pugh had a voice like that. I would like to see her kind of dip her toes into some music, and who knows where that could go. I don't know. That's just a little side note. But that's dope that she kind of put that in there as well. And each song that you kind of hear has like a different kind of vibe to it. But yeah, I like that she kind of went through the different motions and different stages of what it means to be an addict for the most part. Even if it was a little bit tamed, it is what it is. I think they were going for something else and not to kind of glorify or, you know, be disrespectful in a way, because, you know, you could have definitely done this type of movie in a distasteful way and it just come off very offensive. So it is what it is. If you have seen this movie, let me know your thoughts of it in the comments below. I would recommend this if you're a fan of Florence Pugh and if you like Morgan Freeman movies, you will definitely like this movie. Me, I thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't doing anything groundbreaking or anything next level. It was just really well shot. The characters are all pretty decently written. It was funny at times. It was like, had some dark humor, but overall solid movie. Definitely worth checking out at least once. So if you get around to it, let me know. Until next time, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.